guys, I just finished watching the John Wilson Show season 3 over the weekend. It's the last season, so I thought we could eat and just talk about the show. So How To with John Wilson is an HBO show that features thank you that features the uniqueness of New York and New Yorkers, and the personal journey of John Wilson, the filmmaker. It just has like also, I'm not really used to filming outside yet, so I feel a little bit shy about it. But it just features the captures the wildest images of New Yorkers in public spaces. He interviews experts in different fields or different topics, and he has the most adorable, beautiful tortie cat named Baby. Every time she comes up, it's just the best. In the last 2 seasons, I really liked the tender moments. Like, he had an episode about how to protect your furniture because Baby was scratching his armchair, and he ended up just not modifying it and letting her have it because she loves scratching it. And he also featured his relationship with his landlord, who's like a grandmother to him, and what it was like kind of going through the pandemic together, the beginning of the pandemic together. Another episode that stuck out to me from the first 2 seasons was about when he went to like an Avatar convention and just like what Avatar meant to the people at the convention. It was like really heartwarming too, because they had been through they were sharing like they had been to some really dark places, and that community like helps them, you know. So what stood out to me about this season was how vulnerable John Wilson was being, and he hit on some really intimate topics, like his sexuality, grief, self-hate, success. The final episode, spoiler alert, many spoiler alerts, I think, are about to come. the final episode was about like he started to question like if he wanted to have kids. Which is a really personal and intimate question, no matter your gender. Yeah, and there were some moments that came up where he himself or someone he was interviewing or showed up in the show was sharing something that they had like never told anyone or like never talked about like almost to anyone. Like things that they were ashamed of or that they felt would be taken as inappropriate. To me, everything that people shared, for the most part, definitely when it was about like sexuality or self-hate, was like, to me, it felt like it shouldn't be wrapped up in so much like shame, you know. Like the thing that gave the shame power is just not talking about it, but that I didn't think it was like something that they shouldn't talk about. Yeah. I really like when he talks about when he touches on that kind of sense of isolation that we have, that we can feel. Because he himself is like kind of, or at least it seems like from the show, is kind of like an lone wolf kind of figure. Like yeah, he's not very pleasant or likable. Not that he's unlikable, but like he doesn't try to be like pleasant or likable. Like the show is has a really real perspective in that way of like people are just like talking normally, and it's not like for the most part, like he shows if people are kind of like putting it on, but yeah, they don't, like, he's not really like a smiley chap, and people open up because I think of the time and the questions that he brings, but it just seems like he connects with people through time and giving them the space to tell their story. And to show who they are or like what they're into. And I really like when he goes to conventions or gatherings and shows the power of community. Like this season, he went to a pumpkin growing contest upstate. He went to a vacuum convention. He went to like a I don't even remember how to pronounce this, but where you get frozen, Chirotonics or something, convention. And most of the conventions he goes to are like very niche, but it's pretty cool to see how people shine in these spaces. Because it's something that they're passionate about and everyone else is passionate about. It's like it's awesome that he features that in like side by side with how people can feel isolated or like ashamed about things. So what else? Another thing I really liked about this season was that that John Wilson positions himself how he is now. So now like the show is pretty popular and successful, like a Emmy nominee, and he like explicitly addresses success and his own success and view of himself. So he's always like touched on being socially awkward or anxious or like just himself. But now he's like all that plus with like the recognition and approval and success for his work. And I liked how he was kind of sharing like how it looks like on the outside. He's like wearing a blazer and at these award shows or like these high profile events, and he feels like he doesn't belong there. And he was asking like, would it have been better to be small than to get big, like stay small? And why did he start doing this in the first place? Yeah, I really like that because although we may assume that success is like always good, I feel like with art, it's like, well, like we didn't fall in love with it to be successful. Like we didn't start doing it to have approval. YouTube's gonna cut me off, so I think I'm gonna have to finish this in part 2. Okay, so part 2 to be continued.